So we're back. We're back with episode 9 of Unlisted, our podcast about all things development and changes in the area. We've got some really cool things to talk about. District Square in Haverhill, project in Lynn. We've got Portsmouth, and then some other ancillary stuff. So why don't we start with this District Square Haverhill, Rachel?
Yeah.
I think I know where it is. Is it where they just tore down the big building and where there's a new parking garage right there on?
No. So there was I'm going to date myself here, but there used to be a Salvation Army there right before the bridge going over to Bradford.
Yeah, right before it.
Yeah, right before you go over the bridge.
Yeah.
It's now like Pentucket Bank Square or something.
Yeah.
They have a really big building. There's a restaurant over there called Barrio, Mexican restaurant. Across the street, there was like a parking garage that was falling apart.
Okay, so that's where the new Pentucket Bank is, and the new garage. There's a new garage that's already up that just opened that I was just in last week.
I don't know.
You haven't been there. I took your son to
I was
karate.
just by it last week. I didn't realize that there was a garage there
Brand new
yet.
garage, beautiful.
But they tore down this garage.
Mm-hmm. There's a massive hole in the middle of Haverhill right now.
Right, that first block going towards downtown. It is a $160 million project by Trax Development. SV Plus Partners and
Lupoli.
I think he owns Tripoli. Yeah, I think so. Lupoli Companies. 5 acres downtown Haverhill.
It's amazing.
That's crazy. Replacing
It's a big piece of land.
Yeah, replacing the structurally failed parking deck that was downtown. So it's going to be 3 residential buildings organized around a central public plaza.
Nice.
396 apartments total, 24,000 square feet of ground retail and restaurants.
It's 600 a lot to absorb.
Yeah, 600 space parking garage. Architecturally intentionally references Haverhill's historic factory buildings.
Kind of looks like that,
along Merrimack Street, which is good because I hate when we've talked about that. I hate when they just put these boxes.
Talk about. So I saw something interesting about the financing.
Yeah.
So talk about that because that's kind of intriguing. Obviously, none of these are being done just privately funded.
No, so it's they have a $6.6 million MassWorks grant, a $3 million housing development incentive program credit, and Pentucket Bank relocated to anchor the site.
Yeah. Pentucket Bank did a beautiful job
of that
as
building.
I said, I go over there a couple times a week.
Yeah,
and it's kind of cool because you can go in the garage, and if you go in the garage, you can go in the garage and come out and pay, or you can go to the drive-thru and get money. So it's all.
So the parking garage is on the other side now. It's not by the riverside.
It is. If you come into Haverhill and you get to the light, you're going to go left to go over the bridge. It's just beyond that.
On the right?
On the right. And it's a massive, it's got to be 5 acres right there.
Yeah.
But it literally, the bank had its grand opening like a week ago.
So, okay. So from the renderings, and I'll stick them up on the screen, it looks really nice.
It does.
Now, what the apartments will cost is another thing altogether. There's an apartment complex across the river in Bradford near the train station, by the train station in Bradford, and the rents for like a 2-bedroom apartment in there are $5,000 a month.
Are you kidding me?
No. Pardon my French, but who the fuck is paying $5,000 a month to live in a 1,400 square foot 2-bedroom apartment in Haverhill?
No offense to Haverhill, but that is a Newburyport price.
Exactly. You can
Portsmouth.
You can rent an entire house in Newburyport for $5,000 a month.
Right.
Like, on what planet does that make sense?
Are they rented?
I don't know.
Oh.
But that my point is, I hope they're somewhat affordable. I couldn't find anything either way on whether or not they were affordable or not.
These units,
these particular
District Square,
units,
they've got to be. If they're getting MassWorks funding, housing development
incentive tax. They're not gonna. It's probably 20%
They
affordable.
always have a carrot and a stick. Yeah.
But there have been a lot of concerns in Haverhill lately about water, and we're going to talk about water
everywhere.
In our next episode, we're going to talk about drought conditions and how it impacts housing. But there have been a lot there's been a lot of talk about that, and how, how are we adding all these units if we can't even support the units that we have with the water that we have now?
Yep.
So
no, I've heard a lot about that, and you hear a lot about it on the news from various, we'll get to that, but from data centers and all kinds of other things that are pulling water and creating higher or worse water situations.
But I mean, I don't know. I really like Haverhill as a town. I've liked it for a long time.
Yeah.
Some of the best food is in Haverhill. It's a great place if you're a first time buyer that doesn't have a huge budget.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I hope it doesn't get like too gentrified, but there is a lot of room for like upward mobility when it comes to Haverhill price wise. So it'll be interesting to see what happens and how far along it gets, but they're like in the initial stages at this point.
Yep. So let's get back to the whole MBTA communities. Like what?
Yeah.
Where is it? It's been in place for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
And
there was a phased approach with deadlines for adoption for each town. So some towns had to adopt
same as
sooner.
ADUs,
Sooner rather than later. So, a lot of towns did early adoption. I think Newburyport was one of them. They were kind of quick to do it. Amesbury already had an ordinance. They just kind of changed it. As of January, there are 7,000 units, nearly 7,000 units in the pipeline across 100 plus projects statewide. Real progress, but apparently the growth has been uneven. And the whole point of the MBTA Communities Act was to take the burden off of strictly
infrastructure
urban centers that were being overwhelmed by the demand for housing and just spread it out among other places. Marblehead has fought this tooth and nail. They have said we are not going to comply. They got involved with the lawsuit to sue the state. They were like, absolutely not, no matter what, we are not going to comply. So they just had their town meeting where they did what West Newbury did, which is very disappointing. They complied, quote unquote, by zoning a parcel that won't be built on. So in West Newbury, we zoned our MBTA parcel, a parcel that was where our affordable housing is. Like it already is. So like you can't build any more affordable housing there.
That's crazy. That's allowed?
Apparently. Yep. So and we're going to watch the video.
I thought this guy killed it.
We're going to watch the video of David from Marblehead, as he is known, where he talked about, meeting the letter of the law, but not the, heart of the law. I'm going to play the video really quick.
Are you asking me if Tedesco's a golf course?
Yeah, I'm asking you, yeah.
Last time I drove by.
Okay, you don't have to get cute. So they're not going to build any houses there because it's a golf course. You can't have houses in a golf course. And Bowden Road, they already got like townhouses and all that nonsense, yeah?
Yes.
So like, this is a way to comply with 3A without doing any of the 3A stuff?
Pretty much.
Yes, it is. We tried the other way and it was rejected.
So, but like when we're preserving like the character of Marblehead, it's like, we're selfish. We're doing a bad thing. Like we're not doing any housing.
Is that a question?
Yeah, kind of. Like, are we kind of being pricks? Like, we voted last year. And
how many times can we?
Let me just. Like, I don't. Like, are we trying to do nothing? Because it seems like we're doing nothing. So, I'm not an expert on this. I didn't even know it was a golf course. I hadn't driven by. But, like, what are we?
Yes.
We're trying to make sure we build no houses. Like, I don't get it. Like, people live in houses.
Sir, this is the plan before us tonight, so that's what we're voting on.
Okay, I just want to make sure we're voting on nothing substantive. I was afraid.
You're not missing anything.
Okay,
thank you.
I love it. I just was checking the notes too. 900,000 views on X, 450K on Instagram alone, covered by the Globe, NBC, CBS, BZ, and the Wall Street Journal. This guy hit a home run.
And I was actually at the State House last week for Abundant Housing's lobby day at the State House, and they had him speak.
Great.
And his speech, you know, because he's just like a normal guy, right? And he got up there, he's like, I don't know, like, about housing like you guys do. I don't, like, get excited about these, like, you know, white papers about single staircases. 'Cause there's a study done about single staircases in terms of, you know, increasing density and everything. And so, but he had a very eloquent way of putting things together that, you know, and it was just off the cuff, but he's become somewhat of a hero in the, you know, for young people who all kind of feel the same way. It's like, okay, so, like, we're doing nothing, right? Like,
so you got yours, we're doing nothing.
Yeah. And it's people don't understand that the reason why this was implemented is because everyone said, no, not in my backyard. Mm-hmm. Every town has said, no, we don't want to lose our character. No, but then no one has any place to go. So the state felt like they had to step in and impose something, which, by the way, they started this process with this bill 10 years ago.
Well, that's what I thought. It's been a while.
So it was a long time.
The Boston Globe opinion is some municipalities have complied in good faith, but others have designated areas that are very unlikely to actually be developed. Marblehead was obviously in the latter camp. So, I mean, that's...
Well, and in West Newbury...
They're looking for loopholes, basically, to avoid doing this.
Which is... Okay, so the two towns in Essex County that have the least amount of affordable housing stock are Boxford and West Newbury.
Really?
Yep. And
that's so funny because they have the most land. Isn't that cool?
And they both designated parcels that will never be built on or were already built on. So, and we haven't had any new affordable housing in West Newbury in 25 years.
Well, as Dave would say, what did he say?
Are we kind of being pricks?
Yeah, this dishonesty and the amount of bad faith is toxic. That's what he said. If I was just like Marblehead, I'd be like, okay, whatever, a bunch of jerks on the ocean, but it's happening all over the country. You gotta love this guy.
Because he's right. And he's a homeowner too.
Right.
So it's not like he's just... You know.
Yeah. So I think that this is kind of the trend, and we're seeing it. I think it is going on all over the country. And there are similar things that are trying to improve housing that are not necessarily MBTA, but things like, you know, fights between mansionization and
and we'll talk about that.
And we'll talk about that. Yeah.
So.
All right. Well,
good job, David.
Good job, David. 3 cheers for Dave. So tell me about Solimine.
I hope we're saying that right.
Solimine. I don't know. How do you say it?
Where the former Union Hospital was on Linfield Street, I believe that's 129, right? Linfield Street is 129. I don't know. But I'm pretty sure that's where Union Hospital was. It closed in 2020. Mm-hmm. And there's a new project there, $85 million project that just broke ground in December. It is planned to be finished by 2027. 150 affordable apartments for adults 62 and over.
This is a great project.
This is wonderful.
This is amazing.
This is exactly what we need more of.
Yes.
It is
no tricks about we're going to give a little piece to affordable. Go ahead.
It's 100% affordable.
Mm-hmm. But at what level?
That's 60% AMI.
Fabulous.
More than 2/3 of units include rental subsidies for the lowest income seniors. Connected by a walkway to Element Care Pace Center, integrating housing with healthcare on the same campus. So the YW has a partnership with Element Care.
Oh, okay.
And our project over in Methuen that is...
You say R because you're on the board.
I'm on the board, yes. Right. Element Care has a space in there, so they can handle those seniors' primary care visits, specialist visits, if they need a social worker.
So they're not arranging for transportation.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Case management. Yeah. It's on-site management of their lives essentially in healthcare.
Plus the other amenities are amazing.
Yeah, so it also has ground floor village center, fitness, wellness office, multi-purpose room, communal dining, gathering space, 4,000 square foot public green space, and walking paths. Okay, So Massachusetts ranks second worst in the nation for elder economic insecurity. There are 460 plus low-income elderly households in Mass, but only 83,000 affordable units for seniors.
Well, that makes total sense, because I was actually with some people that were seniors, and they were looking at their options, and they said, we don't want to buy.
Right.
And they weren't ready for assisted, but they don't want to take care of a home anymore. So they really need exactly this, but not necessarily the low income piece, but they need
something like that.
Something like that, because they're not wealthy.
That's not astronomically expensive.
Right. I mean,
you don't have to give up your firstborn in order to get a unit in there. So it was a massive program together with Bank of America, Citizens Bank, Mass Housing, Mass Development, Cummings Foundation, Eastern Bank Foundation, Federal ARPA dollars secured by Seth Moulton, Senator Warren, Markey, and named for local philanthropist David Solomine Jr.
Well, that's nice where the name came from.
So
but,
that's
this is kind
very
of like,
cool.
This is a model to me. It's a model. Yeah, that's great. But so it's kind of interesting. There's been so many changes that Newburyport has developed a set of workshops for people, which I think is kind of interesting. Now, I don't know. Do you think it's just lip service for the residents, or do you think they really want the input?
Okay, so we talked about the last episode, or the episode before that, about Newburyport's fight against mansionization.
Right.
Essentially, small starter homes getting torn down and $3 million houses put in their place, $2 to $3 million houses. Initially, they had said, we're going to make all these changes. I went to the planning board meeting. I was like, this isn't going to help anything. Since then, they did recently pass on May 11th that they're changing the demo delay from 12 months to 18 months.
Yeah, I don't understand why they think that's going to do anything.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's not even relevant at this
just makes
point.
the house worth less.
Well, it doesn't even though.
Doesn't,
because you can get relief from the demo delay.
Okay, so go ahead.
So so in response to the outcry against what they had proposed.
Yes.
Ben Harmon, who's a council member, and I think he's the head of the planning board too, or I don't know how it works.
No,
but
I
anyway,
don't think he is. No. But he is
chair of the planning board.
Is he now?
I think he is. Yeah, he was.
Oh, he went in for Ed. Ed Cameron must have.
Yeah, so he's the chair of the planning board, and he said, you know what? Why don't we have these workshops to go over this? And it's interesting because, and I'm not saying I came up with this idea, I definitely did not, but I said what we need to do is get all the stakeholders in the room,
right, and
have a conversation about what we want, what we need, and how it's going to happen. I mean, you need to have the developers there. You need to have, the agents.
That was a really good city council meeting that you were at.
And so I went to the second workshop. The first workshop was on Story Ave and Low Street, and to see what they want to do with that. And then the second one was on, this ordinance about, the mansions, stopping the mansionization. And at the end of the day, even someone from Merrimack Valley Planning Commission came and he gave his recommendation, and his recommendations were basically exactly what I said.
Oh, that's great.
Is that you need to make the lots smaller.
That's right. You need to increase
the density.
Options,
Yeah.
Not
take them away.
Right.
And he cautioned against putting a citywide FAR in place. He said, I would consult your attorneys, is what he said.
So that's what I heard the other day on NPR, actually.
Yeah.
I was listening to a conversation about a similar topic, and they said the same thing.
You can't do that.
You can't do that. You're changing property owners' rights, and you will be sued. So why set yourself up to be sued?
Right. Yeah. And the interesting thing that seemed to come from that conversation is that the residents aren't against townhouses. They're not against multifamilies in their neighborhood, especially in the West End, like Moseley and all that. They're not against it. They just don't want ginormous houses that no one can afford there. They want stuff that fits the scale of the neighborhood, which, I mean, I don't know. Well, I feel both ways about that, because it's kind of like they should be able to do what they, but at the same time, I get what they're saying.
To a degree. Yeah.
To a degree. But it's really, like, people got up and talked. I've been here for 30 years. I've been here for, I live in this neighborhood, and, it's changing so much. And my kids are never going to be able to live here. And, like, we want to downsize, but we have nowhere to downsize to. And we don't want we can't afford a $3 million house. Why are we not building this? And it's like,
well, I think proof positive of that is the fact that if anything comes on the market that is really nice, even a ranch that's redone, that's in really beautiful condition, that's move-in ready, they sell in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
And they're not $2 million, they're $1 million, $1 million, $2 million, which is still a lot of money.
It is.
But it does fit a gap. I mean, I think that if you looked at sales, you would see the bulk of them are under that price, and then it jumps to 2 million plus. So it's that truly K-shaped economy, right?
Well, and that's the whole thing with housing, is like the missing middle. Talking about the missing middle, like the different types of housing that we're missing, and the housing that would meet the middle class. So,
so you're going to put these up, the different dates and all that?
So the first one was May 27th, Housing and Economic Needs, Where Are the Gaps? That's the one I went to, and they had Leela Wright and I, another local agent, get up and speak and talk to, like, what drives property values. Dimensional requirements, setbacks, lot size, frontage, that's June 10th.
That's a big one for builders to go to, I think.
Oh, I bet. Yeah. June 18th, floor island ratio.
Floor area ratio,
floor area ratio, and about that. And then June 24th, by right versus special permit. And then, so there's just a bunch of different workshops that they're holding. And to be honest with you, like, normally I'd be like, oh, they're just paying lip service, but it seems like they're really listening.
I think they're really trying. I mean, the problem is that it's really hard to fight against economics.
It is.
And, Newburyport, the land costs and the building costs are so high.
Yep.
It's pretty hard. You can see why developers are going to the luxury end when they develop something. Plus, it's kind of like, why do they rob banks? Because that's where the money is. I'm sorry. But that is a piece of it.
Right.
I have talked to builders, though, that have said if there was a profitable way to build smaller homes, if they could get more density, they would do it.
Yep.
And I'm working with somebody that's proposing a development in Amesbury, and they're trying to talk. They were talking about, well, what if we did 12 units or 14 units instead of 9? And the builder said, well, then I could charge less. Which, he said, because I don't want to be out there at the highest price point for that location, which I thought was refreshing to hear. He said, then I can keep them in the 7s and 8s and not be at $850, $900, which is not what is affordable for people in Amesbury. So I thought that was a very telling that it actually does trickle down when you lower, if you can, and he was going to look for a waiver for the affordable unit. I know, you're going to roll your eyes. But I'm just saying, at least there was an acknowledgement that if you can get more units in, you can charge less, which is what we're trying to do, get more units
It's
in.
not like they're trying to charge more.
They're not going to get 14 and then charge more money for them. No, they're going to get 14 instead of 9, maybe.
Yeah.
So that was intriguing.
So I'm going to try to go to as many of these as I can. The special permit one looks interesting to me.
Yep.
Because, fixing that process so it doesn't take forever is...
Well, that's the biggest piece,
That's probably the biggest piece.
It's very intimidating to homeowners and to consumers, too, because, the builders can go in and they know what special permits are. They know that they're going to need... They know immediately. They've talked to their attorney. They know they're going to relief from front setbacks. They're going to get a relief
No, they have a whole plan before they go into place.
Before they even go. And they go into the building department. They say, you're going to have to get a relief from front setbacks. And buyers go, huh?
I mean, I'm trying to build a garage that I can build by right, and I feel like killing someone.
Yeah, well.
So I mean, imagine if it was a special part. No.
Yeah.
No.
So now we're going to switch over to a subject that's getting a lot of national press, which is data centers. Ooh, data centers. Nottingham, New Hampshire. Now. Please refresh my memory as to where Nottingham is.
I have absolutely no idea.
Okay, that's good.
John, do you know where Nottingham is?
No.
Okay.
No. Okay. Anybody want to give it to us in the comments? You always do give it to us in the comments, actually. So talk about this development, Rach.
Okay, so there was a data center that was proposed. 40 minutes from here. Was it near?
Epping. Oh, not that far.
Oh, yeah, it's in Rockingham County, isn't it?
North of Raymond and Epping.
Oh, not far. 150 acre property. And before, so.
Like 80 acres are usable.
Yeah.
Right.
So before the planning board meeting on May 27th, there was a petition that had 15,000 signatures to say that they didn't want it. People came out in force.
I bet they did.
To say, we do not want this here. And, you know, the planning board moved its May 27th meeting to Nottingham School to handle the crowds. Over 300 people showed up. 61 spoke during public comment. 234 emails, and voicemails received, all in opposition. Planning board moved, Moulton withdrew his application the afternoon of the meeting.
Tom Moulton, not Seth Moulton.
I didn't say that.
I know, I'm just being clear.
Okay. The crowd showed up anyway and kept speaking against data centers in general. Planning board chair, it's pretty clear that our citizens here in Nottingham aren't going to accept inaction on the part of the town at this point.
In other words, get off your duffs and do something.
Yeah. Special meeting June 3rd to discuss emergency zoning changes and potential moratorium. So the state angle, hold on.
So the nationally, 4 major tech companies plan to spend $670 billion on data centers in 2026. New Hampshire's lower land costs and proximity to Boston's existing infrastructure have made it a key place for them to want to do it.
Yeah,
you can't do it here because the land's too expensive. Back to our previous discussion.
It's important to note that we have data centers already. They've existed for a long time. But they've just been on a lot smaller scale. But there is one in Lowell that is owned by the Markley Group, and it is like dead in the middle of a residential neighborhood, and it's in a economically downtrodden, historically neighborhood, and they just plopped it. I'll put some pictures up. It is shocking. Shocking how large it is. I mean, like, it's literally outside people's back doors. It's just this gigantic black building.
So the building's ugly.
Yep.
But I think it's more the environmental
for sure.
and lifestyle impact that people are concerned about, right? Isn't it air quality?
Air quality,
noise,
water, noise,
electric bills,
light pollution.
Yep.
Like there's people saying that their breathing problems are worse than they were a year ago because of the data center. There's been a significant uptick in data centers in Georgia, and people having health problems. Their well water because of the runoff from the buildings.
That's scary.
Is causing their wells to get, it's nothing but sediment coming out. They can't even drink their own well water. The lights are on 24 hours a day. So even at 3:00 in the morning, there's light shining into their house. And what are you going to do? It's meta. You know what I mean? Like,
but here's the other question though. This is already built.
Yeah.
Right?
The Lowell one.
Yeah. So where were they before? Did people not understand what was going on? I think that I heard some guy speaking about it that they were told it was going to be a storage facility. The public was told it was a storage facility.
Yeah.
And it is a storage. It's a storage for data. It's not a storage for your old bicycles.
So they've already enacted a 1-year ban on further expansion. And Massachusetts roughly has 50 data centers currently, a small number compared to Virginia that's 600 plus.
Woo.
So when we're talking,
when
we're talking about like we're talking about, it's called a hyperscale data center campus. So there is one proposed in Westfield, Mass, 120 acres, potentially hosted by Microsoft or Google. And the worst part for me, to be honest with you, is that they're getting tax breaks.
Well, that makes no sense.
Why do they need a handout? Can't they pull themselves up by their bootstraps?
By the most profitable companies in the world. I misspoke. I meant that Virginia is the home of Facebook. But
Is it? I think they're
America Online. There's something that's
What year is it? America Online.
That was a big deal because Dad had a client out there.
Oh.
I think it was AOL, yeah.
All right.
Well, listen to this. Since AI supercomputing facility opened in Tennessee in 2024, peak nitrogen levels in that area increased by 79%. And AI turbines emit 1,200 to 2,000 tons of smog-forming nitrogen oxides per year.
So I will say, like, I do utilize AI for research.
Yep.
Like specifically,
all the time.
It's a great tool for research. But I will say, young people are not having it.
It's been amazing. There have been protests.
Yep.
There's been a couple protests at college graduations where people have gotten up and started talking about AI, and the kids just boo them.
Yeah, off the stage, basically.
Right off the stage.
And like anytime something's posted that's very obviously AI on social media, you will get dragged. 100 like people are not having
run it through something to see if it's AI.
No, they can just tell. Kids are smart. They're not, or we'll say powered by AI at the bottom,
It does say
or
that.
it just looks like, as the kids call it, AI slop, which means like it just looks like a crappy version of something that AI put out. And like there was this post that said, like, if your poster was made with AI, I am not coming to your event. Like, so
was your poster made with the AI? Because you're having an event tonight.
It was not. I made it myself. But I also have a bachelor's in fine arts and graphic design. So.
Oh God.
Thank you.
Yes, I remember.
But yeah, there's been a lot of backlash from younger generations because, to be honest with you, it is really bad for the environment.
Yeah.
And I think that there's a lot of like just like pretending like we don't, like there's no problem there, but there's problems. Anyway, that is our episode.
It is.
That's the end of it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Well,
that's all she wrote.
That's all she wrote. Until next time.
Yeah.